What is going on, Alpha Hunters? It is a very wonderful Hump Day Wednesday. Fed Chair Jerome Powell is probably still testifying. And there you go. Other than that, we did have a nice little gap up today. Let's see how much we gap up. About a 1/4%, not quite on the SPY, but we did kind of gap up to yesterday's high and made it really easy for the market to run to a new all-time high again. Another day of all-time highs. There in that first 30 minutes, 45 minutes or so. And we've been pulling back ever since. So that was kind of about when Jerome Powell was testifying, was kind of where we topped out, or when he started testifying. So over the past hour, we have been sliding while he's kind of been talking to Congress, stuff like that. All right, let's just see what else is moving. Q's obviously doing pretty well. Q's actually had a little bit more of a gap up here on the day. Gapped up about 0.4%. You can see it kind of got right to yesterday's high as well and pushed for the first 45 minutes, but it's come down, making new daily lows kind of as we speak right now. So we'll see what goes on there on the Q side of things. That's kind of probably leading the SPY lower. Yeah, so the Q's, the weight of the big tech is kind of pushing down right now. IWM had a nice gap up, nice little rebound. Okay, today, obviously, you can see we've been selling down since. Almost a 0.5% gap up there to start the day. Nice little quick pop there first 5 minutes, but it's kind of just been pulling back ever since. Currently up about 0.1%. DIA is currently up about 0.1%, but looks actually a little bit better as it had kind of a flat open. Hasn't really done much throughout the day, but the past 45 minutes, while some of the others have been selling off, or maybe even 30 minutes, Dow's actually had a little bit of a bullish trend to it. Nice. All right. RSP, the Eagle Way SP 500, nice gap up, a little bit of a pull down. Kind of a, looks like trying to base here the past 45 minutes. See if we push up. Continue to pop bullish here. See about that. Yeah, over the past 45 minutes or so, while the Qs and SPY are selling down, not really seeing that on the equal weight SP 500 side. So obviously, you got a lot of big tech probably selling down over the past 45 minutes or so. All right. VIX. Oh, you know what? I didn't even look at the daily pictures. All right, take a look at the daily picture of the RSP. We got, man, we're just getting really tight in here. Oh my gosh, getting real tight. So if it continues just to hold this base in here, maybe we start to push up here in the next couple of days. I mean, not look horrible, but yeah, if we have one day where we just kind of slip here coming up, I'd imagine we probably just wanted to break them down. DIA has been holding these moving averages. I kind of dig it. We're not exactly falling through. So I think being bullish here on the DIA, not a bad idea, because you could easily, I mean, you can set your risk limits, your risk metrics for like a stop loss maybe down here, and then easily put your stop loss just right here. That way you're not losing like a full risk unit. But yeah, I kind of like it. The IWM also getting really kind of tight, man. We're getting kind of to the point where, shoot, a majority of the market's going to be moving one way or another here pretty soon. Qs, yeah, hit a little bit over 500 today, selling down, kind of like what it did yesterday, but it got above it today. SPY, not doing a whole lot. I mean, past 3 days, I mean, it's been going slightly higher, but I mean, those have got to be like the three smallest days, like in a row. Well, I mean, we're not even done trading today, but I mean, yesterday and Tuesday, I'm just trying to look and see, just eyeball it. I mean, I can't see another time where we've had two super small days like that. Yeah, that's crazy. All right, so we'll see. We'll see what happens today. But man, getting quiet out there. So AAPL, we can take a look real quick at some of these big tech intraday. AAPL ran first 35 minutes or so, 40 minutes, and been pulling back since. Microsoft, yeah, there you go. Nice little run there first 40 minutes or so, and then dropped off, especially here over the past like 20 minutes. NVIDIA, nice gap up here on NVIDIA. It's kind of been had a nice little uptrend to it. NVIDIA's up about 2%, not quite 2%, but there you go. That's how some of the big three are doing. As far as VIX not really doing anything, just still hanging out in the lower teens. Dollar just kind of hanging out, not really doing too much today. Bounced the 2 previous days, kind of a little small doji action today. All right, not really doing a whole lot. Gold, nice bounce here. I think gold is going to be on a bullish move here coming soon. Yeah, I mean, I liked it. We had that little breakout last week with that pullback into the moving averages. Dollar's not doing much, but gold's up nicely today. All right. Yields. Okay, you would have wanted to see yields kind of continue that break higher if you were looking for that. But now we're kind of just consolidating, hanging out below these moving averages. We do have a little bit of a lower wick today. So if yields can push back towards the high of the day, maybe towards the high of yesterday by the close of the day, maybe that would look good for yields to keep going higher, but it doesn't look great consolidating right here. 10-2 inversion. Yeah, kind of just hanging out today, not really doing a whole lot. HYG, nice gap up on the HYG here. Kind of looks bullish, but it's got to get through the 7750 area. It's had a very hard time getting through this level. Like all year, the few times it's gotten through it, it made a quick run to like 70, high 77, 78 area, and then came right back down. Even this little double top that we had back in late March, it's had a very hard time getting over the 77.5 level. Okay. LQD. Had a little bit of a gap up today, but it's not really doing a whole lot. All right, we'll see what's going on tomorrow. And I'd imagine we probably do see some movement tomorrow. TLT, not really doing a whole lot today, because tomorrow we are going to get the ever important CPI and inflation rate. So we will get that and initial jobless claims. So if CPI comes down a little bit, I'd imagine the market reacts kind of bullish. But if initial jobless claims, we do see another jump, the market might get kind of weird. And I'd imagine the market's going to react more to CPI first. But if initial jobless claims does come in higher, I think like the forecast calling for 236K, prior was 238K. So if we do get initial jobless claims to come in at like mid 240s, maybe upper 240s, I'd imagine the market will eventually sniff that out and be like, yeah, we're still seeing job markets significantly weaken, and that's even if CPI comes in at like 3.3. The market would love that, by the way. If we get like a 3.3 on the year over year here, forecast is calling for 3.4. So if we do get like a 3.3 number, I'd imagine the market does jump pretty good, especially pre-market. But yeah, if initial jobless claims also jump, I think the market would eventually wind up not liking that. I think the initial reaction to the data, because we're going to get all this at the same time. So I think the initial reaction of pre-market and the futures is going to be from CPI. But if we do see a little bit of an uptick, a little bit more of a shocking uptick there on initial jobless claims, I'd imagine then the market would react to that a little bit later after the fact, not initially. We do have a 10-year auction coming up at 1 o'clock Eastern, and then we got some Fed talk coming up a little bit later. We did just have EIA about 40 minutes ago, so energy markets should be moving. We can take a look at some of that. All right, let's take a look at sector rotation. All right, taking a look at sector rotation on the day, man, just like things are all over the place. So, what's doing well today? Materials is actually doing pretty well. Tech was doing pretty good up until about, was that 25 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago? Let me see that little sell down there at the top of the hour, or going into the top of the hour. And then you got healthcare, tech outperforming on the day. Underperformers, energies. Okay, energies, utilities, communications, industrial staples, discretionaries, real estate, and financials underperforming on the day. Okay, so energy markets, since we did just get the EIA number stuff, like it doesn't look like it's been too volatile. We had a little bit of an uptrend. Oops, didn't mean to do that. We had a little bit of an uptrend there, and it came back down. So yeah, we can take a look at commodities here in a sec. As far as intraday price action, we got energies that are actually doing pretty good intraday price action. You can see that little bounce that they did get when we got all the EIA stuff. Financials outperforming, healthcare, materials all outperforming their intraday. Staples, tech, industrials, utilities, communications, discretionaries underperforming, and real estate lagging behind today. What's kind of interesting about real estate is, well, we're not seeing yields, right? We're not seeing yields tick higher. Actually, yields are down on the day, but real estate's getting hit pretty good today. Okay. Fair enough. Let's take a look. Ooh. So yeah, we got crude oil definitely moving here over the past, couple minutes. Now this is a futures data. It's a little bit delayed here. So I don't worry about trading futures that much. But you can see it about 10 minutes ago at the top of the hour. You can see that we were getting some upticks there on crude oil. But we did get the EIA data about an hour ago, and you can see we did go on a nice little run there on crude oil side. So where are we kind of at on a daily? Oh, nice little lower wick. I think we were throwing a lower wick yesterday. We wound up selling back down. Okay, interesting. Throwing a little bit of a lower wick again today. Bouncing nice. This looks a little bit more solid. Okay, let me take a look hourly. Yeah, I think it's a nice bounce spot. How's gasoline doing? Gasoline bouncing a little bit of a lower wick, not above the day's open though. Gasoline threw an upper wick yesterday. That's kind of interesting. So gasoline on an hourly time frame has this like support and resistance line like right here around 253. Is that about 253 area? And it'd be interesting to see what happens when we get back up into that area. You can see we kind of rejected down before. Was that this morning? Yeah, that was early this morning. We kind of bounced, kind of retested into that after we broke that down overnight. We retested that early this morning, broke down. So, past couple hours, nice little bullish move here on gasoline. So, we'll see what happens when we get there to that level. But we could definitely break that down again. Heating oil. Heating oil lost a little lower wick. Okay. So, we're not seeing crazy moves across the energy markets, but you can definitely tell that they've been moving here over the past hour and a half. All right, let me know if there's anything you guys want to take a look at. I'm going to run through big tech real quick. I hit the wrong button. Alphabet is done nothing the past 3 days. Okay. Nothing the past 3 days. Meta. I'm not going to run through Apple, Microsoft, and NVIDIA because I already ran through those. But Meta kind of sideways today. That's a pretty quiet day out there on Meta. And Amazon. How's Amazon doing? Amazon. Having a hard time getting through this 200 level. Hard time getting through that 200 level. Okay. Tesla. Are you gonna go through 270? I think you probably will. I know one thing, getting popping this level right here back from December 28th, that would be I think that'll easily have. Oh, hold on. Did we do that actually? That high was 265.13, the high today. High back then was 265.13. High today was 265.72. So we did pop that high today. What was the high yesterday? Oh, we popped it yesterday, 265.61. So we popped that high yesterday. Okay. But we didn't pop this high. Back from early mid October. That was up around like the upper 268 area. So yeah, we didn't get that high, but we did take out that high from December by about 60 cents or so. Okay. So Tesla, what does that look like intraday? Okay. Oh, let me go to 5 minute. So we did that really quick yesterday and today, and immediately reversed when we did it today. Okay. All right. We'll see about Tesla. I mean, it had a pretty strong run here to start out July. Ran farther than what I thought it was going to initially. Visa MasterCard. Wow. Visa. Nice gap down there on Visa. Earnings are coming up here in 2 weeks. Okay. Visa. You got. We're gonna have to check long-term moving averages here. As far as like technical pivot levels, I mean, we could easily come all the way down to about 250. Where is Oh man, I'm never one that wants to push being bearish, especially like on some pretty essential stocks that make great cash flow. But Visa definitely probably has some room to run back down to the lower 240s. So, and I don't ever like shorting stock, but if you were to do it through options. But there's not much below it until we get to, these tops that we kind of put in back in 2021 and last year. Yeah, last year. So lower 250s. Makes a lot of sense to me. And you know what? Just thinking about this, I think what I'd rather do, this is what I would rather do. I would rather just sell put options. I would just rather sell put options. Let's do this. We don't mess around with talking options too much in the midday live stream. There's a lot of already other stuff to look at, but let's do that right now. Let's take a look at options. See how much we could possibly bring in. All options, I want puts. And the money is shaded light blue, just so you know. All strikes. Okay. So 250 and 250, 250. So you got 250 and then 252.50 are the different strike prices. Okay, so we're obviously not going to do that for this week, so there's not much premium there. So let's go out a week and a half. and you can get 65 cents or so, 60 cents or so, 45 cents or so. And I think if you're willing to just be bullish and own the shares at the lower 250 level, I think you're probably looking at just selling the 250 250s, the 252.50s. That just sounds weird. Sorry when I say it. And so I think that might be the route you're probably looking to go. And you don't have to be doing this. Okay, 2 weeks out. Are these the monthlies? July 26th. Hold on, is that the July 26th? Those are weeklies. Yeah, those would be weeklies. So next week is the monthlies, which is why there's probably more strikes out there. You can also, what is the beginning of August at? So the beginning of August, yeah, they got every 5. I would kind of prefer to do it every week because you'll be able to collect more premium. And so honestly I would sell the ones for not July 12th. That's in 2 days. There's not much there. I would just go out to July 19th. I would sell those at 250 250, and then maybe look to sell these here at 255, because I mean you might be able to collect around 255 to 260, right? 'Cause that's the bid ask. Yep, that's the bid ask right here. Good grief! Stop moving. So that's the bid and ask, and I think I would rather do that. So if you're down to do this, I think what I would rather do is just sell puts. I wouldn't. That way you're not playing it directionally. Anytime you can sell options, it's better than buying options. And then you just pick up the shares on Visa. So I think you'd want to sell these 250 250s for next Friday. It would be, what was it, the 19th? The 19th, you'd sell those. And then I would say do the 252s 50s again, but they don't have them then for the 26th. But that's when you get to the expiration next week, you can just look at doing the these 255s here and glit and probably bring in around 257 or so, 258, maybe 260 if your broker's really good. That's what I would look to do. And honestly, you could just go here to 255. Let me take a look. 255 out for a few weeks. I know earnings is coming up, and that's, you know what? That might not be a bad way to do it. Honestly, it's not a bad way to do it because you're collecting the premium over earnings, which is not a bad way. So let me put a marker here. So you're selling the options out here. Right. Yeah, right there is fine. Right there for that day, July 26 at 255. So you can see we're a little bit above it, but we got a nice support here around 250. You're going to collect enough premium here that makes your entry somewhere around like 252, like right about here. Jeez, move mouse. Good grief. 252, like 37 or so, right? So we're going to get about 260 or so. So it'd be right. That'd be about your break even, and then we have that super strong support down here around 250. And honestly, I could see it to where we kind of maybe just chop around in this area until we get to earnings. Maybe have a pop, and then it drops off. And then here's the cool thing: if it does pop, then cool. You just collect the dang premium anyways. But selling this over past earnings, dude, you got a super strong support. Like I dig this, honestly. I mean, that's to me, it's kind of a slam dunk. Now you're selling a put option, so you need to have the capital for. You need to be able to front the capital for all those shares. So how much capital that would be? Well, you take your strike price, right? You take your strike price of 255, and you times that by 100, and that's how much capital you need per contract. You need 25,500 in your account per contract that you would sell. So if you sold, 2 contracts, you would just double that. 3 contracts, you would just triple that. So on, so on. So that, I mean, that's not bad. I mean, the other way you can do it is you could do a calendar spread. And if your broker's really good, your risk in this would be really minimized. And so the other, I mean, the way you kind of do the calendar, and this would help alleviate if you don't have that capital. If you don't have that capital, what you do is you sell this short term, and then you buy. You would buy a long term. So you go as far dated as possible. As far dated as possible. And I don't really like typically doing this on individual stocks because the bid ask spread. You see these bid ask spreads. How much you're going to bring in on selling the short term is not enough to cover that bid ask spread. It's not enough liquidity out here to keep the bid ask spread tight. You could do a shorter term, but you just run the risk of the delta. If you move, if the stock jumps, you lose more on the one you bought than the one you sold. So I wouldn't really want to go that route. So I'd rather just front the capital, absolutely, because if you're willing to own it down here, then I'm willing to collect, the about what, 260. So that'd be $260 over 2 weeks to earnings. So I mean, it's not horrible, because I'm willing to own it right there, anyways. Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, I like it because you get that volatility uptick right there. You get a super strong support right here around 250. And if it doesn't drop below that, you just collect the premium and maybe reassess, maybe look to do it again or whatever. So, not bad. Anyways, Visa, let's see what MasterCard's doing. If Visa's doing that. MasterCard, similar. We have a top here around 420 that looks like it's going to be making a move towards. It's going to have earnings here in 2 weeks as well. So you could do this on MasterCard. You can do the same idea on MasterCard. Probably just selling maybe the 420s or 425s, something like that. If you're willing to own the shares there. It's just that the capital requirement is going to be a lot higher because the stock price is 420. So 420 times 100, 42,000. Yep. And it's sitting right on top of that 50 EMA. The thing I kind of don't like about that is you only have one top right here, this 420 spot. If it doesn't hold that, then you have a little bit more downside to about 400. Which is not horrible. I mean, it's not horrible, but that's also where the 100 on a weekly would be. So you kind of got 2 different levels to play with. I like Visa because you have a very clear kind of like double top here around 250. Like that should be a pretty rock solid support. That even if it breaks it through, it won't do it like on a first go. So, anyways, I dig that. I do that a lot. All right, what else we got? So that's Visa, MasterCard. We got some tech selling off. AMD, is it finally moving season there on AMD? AMD is not looking bad. Finally, man. Finally looking pretty good. From last week, just been end of last week, really. Nice little pop there on Friday. Starting to look much better. All right. I'm going to see what else. Major headlines. Samsung debuts new phones in AI race with Apple. Okay. Debuts, huh? All right. I'll be pretty honest, man. I don't hear consumers clamoring for AI. It's kind of like, to me, it's kind of like the the metaverse. It was like more of a business thing. Consumers weren't asking for AI. I'm not saying that consumers weren't asking. Hell, actually, thinking back to the smartphone era, consumers were asking for smartphones. A lot of people started getting into Blackberries when Apple then came out with the iPhone. So there was starting to be more of a push and move to get into smartphones, and then Apple just made a much better product at the time. So, but I mean, outside of like content creating and stuff like that, but I mean, that's not a majority of people. Majority of people aren't out there content creating. They're content consuming, right? I mean, that's why they're consumers. U.S. National Highway Agency issues advisory of a faulty airbag replacement in used cars. What? So a faulty airbag replacement. So they already did a recall, and now they got to do a recall on the recall. Tax preparation company Intuit to lay off 1,800 as part of an AI-focused reorganization plan. AI-focused. Yep. LegalZoom stock hits all-time low as CEO departs. I didn't even know LegalZoom was publicly traded. Let's check that out. LegalZoom, publicly traded. Where LZ? Whoa. Yeah, LegalZoom has not had a good past couple of months. And it's kind of funny because LegalZoom, is supposed to be that ease of access to business filings and stuff like that. And it's almost like a pseudo eye on the economy. Like if people aren't opening businesses, then that's not a good thing. Right. LegalZoom wouldn't be doing good. My goodness. Dude, that thing went into an IPO 2021 and it just dude, I think hold on. I have to go look at the dailies because I think that might have been the highest day. Oh no. Okay. They did trade higher a couple days later. 40.94 high of. So the high of LegalZoom was 2 days after its IPO that Friday, and it hasn't been anywhere close back to that level. It's just traded down. Good grief, man. Anyways, LegalZoom. Yeah, to me this is like a pseudo like how's the economy doing? Are people opening businesses? That stuff. The company explained that this was the right time for this transition of shifts its focus towards subscription-based revenue to drive long-term profitable growth. Man, every company is all about that. Subscription-based revenue. It's predictable, right? Anyways, okay. LegalZoom. Having some issues out there. Not a lot going on. We're going to get some pretty decent stuff tomorrow with CPI and jobs data. So we should see some pretty decent moving tomorrow. Tesla's energy business could be its next big growth driver. Yeah, dude. Well, when are they going to actually do something with it? Whatever. Go down that rabbit hole. All right, we're seeing the market kind of bounce. Ooh, nice bounce back here over the past 20, 30 minutes. All right, here we go. Okay. Alpha Hunters, we'll talk again tomorrow. We'll see what we get from CPI and jobless claims, initial jobless claims. And we probably see what the market was definitely going to be reacting to that stuff. So, Alpha Hunters, have a great rest of the day. Take care.